now we head to our final match of the night. It is the old guard Slappydavis against not exactly the new, but the newer, let's say. A lot of people are new compared to Slappydavis, who's been around for I think 5 to 6 years now. I lost in the finals of my first ever tournament, the first ever tag team tournament, to Slappydavis, who was playing solo in that tournament, which I'll never stop being bitter about. And he did indeed dance at the end of a ballroom game for the win. It was old ballroom. I'll never forget it. He was White Jacket, Revolta, we called him at the time, appropriately enough. I'm still mad, so let's just get into the picks and bans so I don't have to think about it anymore. Yeesh, are you ready to go?
In one moment, I will be.
Absolutely. So Slappydavis has had a bit of a lack. Of course,
after all this time?
Of course, I'm still mad. I alluded to this earlier, but Slappydavis has been a platinum for a really long time. YerAnd is brand new to it. Skipped gold where you are, Wodar, entirely. Doesn't seem fair to me. I think you should file a protest. But YerAnd has absolutely justified being there. They've done pretty well so far. They still have a chance at making the finals, and as I mentioned, ruining that fourth consecutive Noob Falcon hit matchup, and they will really be in a good position to do that if they can knock off one of SpyParty's most storied players here in Slappydavis.
I like gold. I like staying in gold. Gold
right.
is nice. You should come down here, Track.
Yeah, it's fun here. Well, I might be going up there, but we'll see.
You might. Wodar, if you want to stay in gold, I dare say you have some control over that. So,
YerAnd pointed out correctly that he beat me in the finals in silver. So he is technically above me in like
that part makes
ranking.
Sense. That part makes sense. Although normally winning the finals in silver would not upjump you an entire division over the person you beat in the finals. But you're right. But whatever you thought of YerAnd ending up there, they have played very well since, and this is a big moment for them.
They're one of the top two, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's
still early.
Yeah, fight for second and third between Falcon Hit and YerAnd.
Yeah,
right. So this match is huge, actually. Because Falcon Hit beat Slappy, so if he beats Slappy again, it's basically going to come down to if YerAnd can maintain pace with Falcon Hit. If he loses to Slappy here, it's probably curtains. So he has to play.
It's going to be tough. Yeah, let's say a win puts him in great shape, a loss puts him in really bad shape, a tie keeps his hopes alive. I'm really anxious to see what happens. What did these fellows pick and ban?
All right, we had YerAnd starting with Tayan.
Banning Tayan, right?
Yep. And then we banned Veranda, Slappy.
That's normally I wouldn't comment too much on picks and bans, but I have to point out YerAnd has banned Tayan, I think, every single match this season. And Slappy banning Veranda, it's important to note he's banning New Art Veranda because Old Art Veranda was indeed his favorite map, but this one plays a little different and he doesn't like it as much.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had YerAnd going for Modern. Can't get Veranda, you get Modern.
Yeah, fair enough. They play a little similarly, all things told.
Then Slappy picked Courtyard for the doubled, and then YerAnd ended up with High Rise as his last map, and then Slappy ended with Library.
Wow. Okay. Slappy's choices seem pretty straightforward. YerAnd with the rare Modern into High Rise pick. Very different venues. Let's see if we get to see them all.
Yep. All right, I'm ready. You ready? Everyone ready? Chat ready?
As ready as we'll ever be.
Which is to say, not very. Slappydavis as Duke on Modern, spying first.
All right.
Ready when you are.
Yep. Starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And again, Slappy has just been living in platinum. Slappy is to platinum what Checker is to silver. He just won't leave. He won't advance or demote. He just stays there. He's built a house. He's set up shop. He doesn't even seem to want to leave. He says it's his home. That's not a joke. That's a literal quote. Platinum is my home, he says. Struggling a little bit so far this season, though. He's going to try to avoid demote. It looks like he probably will either way. But the question is, does he want to throw up a roadblock to someone like YerAnd, who, as we mentioned earlier, still has a chance at the finals with some of Falcon Hit's recent losses? Falcon Hit 0-2 against Noob this year. That opens a lot of things up for people like YerAnd. Slappy opening in typical Slappy fashion, which is to say, not doing things.
Aggressively idling.
Yeah, Noob would approve. It is, well, I don't know if it's aggressive enough. I think he needs to be moving around a little bit more. And I think he's just passively idling.
Ooh, bug? No.
No, well, I don't know what the plan was, but once we caught our foot on that love seat, all the plans went out the window. Instead, it's going to be a flirt at bar, and it looks like he's going to be able to get a fingerprint, too. This is a nice little double whammy, especially with that flirt coming off as a green test right before the ST leaves. So I said he was doing nothing, but joke's on me. He's actually gotten quite a bit done in the 20 seconds since I criticized him for it.
Yeah, here we go. This is a way that you can deal with being slow, is that you double up on whatever you do as your spy missions. So,
Yeah,
like, right here,
Mhm.
we got a delegating and fingerprint. Delegate? What's the verb I'm looking for here?
We're not really sure. There's really no precedent for it in English. We just say a delegate, I think, normally.
They gotta delegate?
They
Okay.
gotta delegate, and then they are going to delegate. The word's pulling double duty. Yeah. Slappy's going to go next to the suction target. He's got 51% already. If he can hit this flirt here into a delegate, suddenly we're going to have a lot of progress in a very short period of time. He's going to wait just a little bit. It is another green test. He's done with the flirt, and there's 2.5 minutes left on Modern. Delegate still in pocket. Fingerprint 1 done. And he's in a conversation with a double agent. You can really bang out a lot of missions. Double agent leaves. That's going to cut down our options a little bit, as will the fact that we have not purloined yet, and I'm not sure we're going to.
I think the timer might be too low at this point.
Yeah, we could delegate just to get him out of here and then use our arm, the right arm, on the ambassador, but no, they leave. Timer expires, and we're still hanging out in a conversation, and we've already finished our seduce, so we have no more interest in this person.
Wow.
Double agent comes in. Oh, the spies have to use people, Wodar. That's what they do. It's merciless, it's ruthless, but they're spies. Double agent rejoins the conversation. Slappy's going to do the banana bread there. It's done. 2.5 missions are done. And there's almost 2 minutes left on the clock. Plenty of options. We have not been to statues yet, though, and we still have a drink we haven't finished.
Almost perfect low lights for the BB. One major one that they might have missed was General. And that's a highlight of those.
Yeah, we're going to have to pay attention in the end game, see if that comes back to bite YerAnd at all. YerAnd has been a really strong sniper, if I recall right, had the highest sniper win rate in SCL last season. Obviously.
Jesus.
Now, obviously, you want to adjust for difficulty a little bit. I would say, for example, an 80% in Diamond may be better than an 85% in Silver, something like that. But in any division, the kind of numbers YerAnd put up on the sniper side are very impressive. It was in the high 80s, I think 87%, I want to say, which is absurd anywhere. Slappy is going to go into bookshelves here, pick up a green book.
I still won against him during the regular season. I don't believe that I got 10-0 last season.
It wasn't last season; it was 2 seasons ago.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Everything makes sense now.
Everything makes sense.
With book on Slappy.
Yeah, YerAnd's sniper win rate last season was 87.72%. That is
Jesus,
absurd.
What?
Yep. And that's why they're doing well in Platinum. Slappy has a green book here, and there's only 30 seconds left, and this looks more like a standard Slappy game, frankly. It looks like he has to dump this somewhere else. He's going to have to bug into dump the book, and where's he going to get the fingerprint? 20 seconds left. Even if he got away with this bug, I don't know if he can finish. Here goes the book into red. YerAnd's got to be thinking about this now. No reason to shoot until he dumps it, and that's exactly what happened. Dumps it and shot. I think he might have gotten away with a lot of that. I don't like the decision to microfilm there. I think you have a cleaner game available to you. YerAnd might have shot either way with all those soft tells done late, but it would definitely be a tougher shot because they wouldn't have seen anything to totally give the spy away. Instead, shot for the book return, and all that mission progress goes to waste. 1-0 YerAnd.
Yeah, from the angle, it seems like YerAnd didn't really care about Slappy too much. Like, the bug was really, really nice, but the angle wasn't that great. I think it was just like the fast return. It was like, hey, I'm the spy.
Yeah. It's just there was a lot of idling in the middle of that game. The DA left and came back before we did anything. It was about 40 to 45 seconds. And imagine if you're trying to get that bug. Imagine if you get that bug and you have 45 more seconds on the clock. You can put the book back where it came from. You can finish fingerprint, and then just got to find one more, and it could be a purloin to force him into a difficult shot. We'll never know. YerAnd catches the book going back into the wrong bookcase and leads 1-0, and now they're going to play his wheels on Modern, trying to score a second win.
All right, starting it out in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And Slappy has indeed had a lot of trouble finishing missions in general. Or you could say that's just the way he plays. I don't know how deliberate it is. He likes to slow play into a rush late and very often gets Civ shot. Also does not complete fingerprint very often. He did get one there, but did not complete it, becoming a little infamous for it. But I think maybe he wanted to that game and just didn't see an opportunity he liked.
Yep.
YerAnd starting things off Taft about nothing in particular.
And YerAnd confirmed in chat that the last game he caught Slappy for the broken book animation, and he was pretty sure that wasn't a red book.
Yeah, I think that was the only move that game that looked sketchy to me was taking that book out. I wasn't sure what the plan was there. It's going to be a white microfilm from YerAnd to green bookshelves, but it's just so hard to see that if there's anything going on at the party, and there is. We don't have a flirt yet, but we're going to come in next to our seduction target, General here. Half of microfilm done, although it is the easiest part at green bookshelves. That is a green test, 49%, just enough to keep us in 2 flirt range. That could help a lot later, and YerAnd is not wasting any time. It's almost like YerAnd watched the first 2 matches before playing this one. He says, no, I am not going to hang around here anymore. I am getting out of here and getting more mission progress done, and that's going to be a banana bread right there.
Red one.
Uh-oh. And let's see how many lowlights he gets. Slappydavis, I do not think saw the cough, but he should be able to get a number of lowlights. 1, 2, 3.
He could.
I think the only lowlights we've gotten are lowlights out of conversation. I don't think he's actually confident that anyone didn't cough, and that is a big missed opportunity. The question is, actually, the big threat for YerAnd is not that. The big threat is that they're going to think they're a bigger suspect and maybe hesitate to complete missions, and they were showing a lot of forward progress before that.
Yeah, I mean, coughs are not as bad in New Art as they were in Old Art. But even then, Slappy missed some people that were outside the conversation when that BB happened.
Absolutely right. Hard to catch the coughs. You catch them right away or you don't. Normally what happens on New Art is whichever conversation is immediately beneath your eyes when it happens, those are usually the ones you can take the lowlights from because you're pretty confident none of them coughed. That didn't even happen. We had a modern BB only let off 3 lowlights, which is good without a cough. With a cough, that's fantastic. The only question is, will YerAnd let up off the gas because they're paranoid? So far, it doesn't look like it. We delegate to Hair, but she's got a book, and she goes to Windows. The delegate bug, I think, is going to bite YerAnd here, but I think they can tell it's going to happen already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're probably going to give up a delegate at this point. And maybe just make a AI walk around very strangely.
That's going to be a green microfilm while Slappy is moving around, and that is going to be microfilm done. That is a big moment. Sometimes you delegate... Oh, are they going to get to bar quick enough? No, we're going to just miss it. If Duke hadn't gone there, it might have been close. Here's the question. Did YerAnd notice that it was going to fail? Or did they do the thing that some spies do, and I'm guilty of it myself? You delegate and then forget about it, and you only look up later to realize the mission isn't checked off? I don't know, but the Seduce gets done at Windows. 3 missions are done. One of them's a hardtail, and I don't think we're a suspect.
Not yet. But I mean, we still need to do 2 more missions, and that could really give us away.
It could, but again, normally the party with a minute left is narrowed down more. We still only have those 3 lowlights, only 3 on Modern with a cough, and Slappy has not taken any soft lowlights for inactivity or AI behavior or anything. YerAnd's going to go back to bar, not going to actually take the drink, and is not going to get caught out for it. Going to delegate into what? Are they going to inspect in the meantime? Goes to an empty conversation, can't delegate to anyone here, can't delegate to yourself, YerAnd. Got to decide who you're going to target next. We're going to slam into the ambassador, but not Bug. We're going to go right back to the same conversation where there was no one before. We are still all alone. Wheels is being shunned, and now you actually have to delegate pretty quickly when you get into the resulting conversation.
Yep.
Actually, very smart from YerAnd here. We're going to go into a closer conversation so that when we delegate, it won't take as long. We're going to delegate to the smallest of men, and it's probably going to take with plenty of time to spare. YerAnd's going to get the heck out of Dodge, and what are they going to do in the meantime to try to finish? We were going to need 2 statue visits, or swap, or Bug.
It's too late for 2 statue visits. Ooh.
Doesn't matter. Slappy's all over the Purloin, and what felt like a pretty likely spy win from YerAnd there for a little while. Slappy pulls back 1-1. Big win for Slappy there.
And I'm impressed with that shot. They were on the up and up on that Purloin.
It's possible they suspected the microfilm a little bit more than we thought, but I think what happened was he talked so quickly. When someone enters conversation like that, and they're already maybe, say, even a little bit of a suspect, you're wondering about the Purloin. And so if they talk quickly, you're definitely going to have noticed, right? What gets people normally on the delegate is you enter, and you let enough time pass that they sort of have to start looking at other things. But if you talk in the first few seconds, then the moment they look for the delegate is also the moment it happens. And, of course, it's a common thing to want to delegate to small men. If you can, Slappy all over it, pulls that game back, even though they might have missed microfilm. 1-1.
1-1. On to Slappy as plain twin.
Yep, ready when you are.
Starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I don't know if it was going to be 2 inspects or a swap. Probably a swap there, but it didn't matter. The second that Purloin went off, Slappy was all over it. Makes you think he was just all over the delegate when it actually happened. There's a green flirt right away next to Seek. Really quick progress. Slappy hits his fair share of green tests, and it works. Yeah. It helps. It gives him a lot of options, whether he takes them or not.
I really like delegating right now. There are like 5 people at the bar. Just can go and join them.
Well, there's a space next to you in conversation. What are the odds one of them's going to come to you? You could fake the delegate to yourself, but it's an all-in kind of thing to do early in the game, and then you have to hope that AI completes otherwise.
Mm-hmm. And it's kind of hard for them to complete stuff, especially hardtails on this map.
It's very hard for AI to complete hardtails. I would say borderline impossible, but you can get them in for a banana bread afterwards. Instead, none of them are coming into Slappy's conversation, and Slappy doesn't want anything to do with it either. He's going to run to statues here, and is he going to try to flirt on this statue pad and then leave? No.
Nope.
He's just going to go over and just sort of tap a seduction target on the shoulder and say, hey, come meet me in this conversation. And the seduction target says, sure, absolutely. It's going to be a white test this time. It's going to be 83%, but that's still pretty good flirt progress early in the game. But if you're Slappy, you really can't afford to timer flirt for those last 17%, especially with the pacing issues we had in the previous game where you had to rush that book dump. Got to go get something else done in the meantime, even if it's just a delegate. But Slappy's waiting around again.
Slappy's from the future and got recommendations already. He pulled that SD right into his conversation.
Yeah, that's right. Slappydavis is playing with an early build with recommendations already in it. So I like that. That's very good. Banana bread comes off. Let's see, 3 lowlights. Oh yeah, oh boy, that's rough. Now
that's not a lot, yeah.
No, it's not at all. But it's a fake is the thing. So we got no actual mission progress for it.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go to bar.
We did get a high suspect with Owen's dress.
Yeah, I think she might have split into statues, and we've requested a drink. We are still waiting in line here. Teal's in front of us, so we're going to be at bar for quite a while. We're probably going to be remembered there. Ambassador comes to us. Slappy bugs in place. I see a visible hand, but here's the question. Are you looking for it when the ambassador comes to bar? You're not looking for it as much as when somebody approaches the ambassador. YerAnd's camera, however, is not moving, and that is an ominous sign for Slappy, because he has no reason to shoot him yet.
That was a sick bug.
It was opportunism at its best, potentially. YerAnd's camera's still not moving much, and I'd be very worried. That's going to be a white swap with 2 inspects. Is that going to
be... No! Slappy!
I don't know whether or not that was intentional, and now, unless YerAnd tells us, I'm not going to know how suspicious he was of that bug, but he was pretty suspicious of the white swap. Has to be the spy. Shot him 2-1. Yep.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Not much to say. It's a white swap and he shot for it.
Yeah. I need to see the numbers of how many games end with just white swap into death.
It's quite a few when the white swap happens. There's no doubt about it. Swap as the last mission, pretty powerful. Swap as your second or third mission on Modern, not as much. It's now going to be YerAnd. YerAnd as Kane.
My brain was
holding the words together on Modern whenever you guys are ready.
I'm ready.
Starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Oh no, YerAnd saw the bug.
Yep.
Oh.
Did see the bug.
Lie about that thing. No, you have to keep the bug on a pedestal. That was so good.
You're not allowed to catch bugs. Wodar declares it to be so.
Yeah.
YerAnd is not going to get a flirt in right away. We're going to go to red bookshelves. And the ST is going to Windows, too, so we can't reliably chase. We might as well waste a little time here, then, potentially, because we want to see where they go next, I think. We're going to take the red book with us, though. And we're going to go into what looks like an empty conversation. Nope, we're going to cross right across it into Windows. Let's see where Sari goes. Wherever she goes, she gets there very slowly. One of the slowest characters in the game, and that means when you're waiting to see where she goes on Modern, you can be waiting quite a while. YerAnd not going to wait around. We're going to go into this conversation instead, and we have an arm free, not holding a book next to the ambassador. Wow!
What?
I can't imagine Slappy actually saw anything dispositive. I think they were just suspicious of the bug on entry. Check out Slappy's angle. They had a very bad angle to the bug, which means they could not confidently say it didn't happen.
Holy shit.
That's possibly a very aggressive shot. I think in that case, having a bad angle won the sniper the game, as it so happens.
Banana bread.
YerAnd gets a chance to do absolutely nothing and dies for it.
Slappy the god.
I don't know about that. It's correct. I tend to favor process over results, but I think what that was is not guarding the bug means you think the bug has happened, you phantom it, you shoot them, but thank God they're the spy, and we split Modern.
Yeah.
And when you split your opponent's map, you're going to call that a victory, because now we go into Slappy's pick of Courtyard, dead even.
All right. You ready?
Yep.
Oof. Oof.
Let's go.
Gonna start in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I mean, Slappy is from the future. We've already established that.
That's what it is.
He knew a bug was going to happen. Like, you BB and bug there. But what kind of spy wouldn't BB bug there?
I want the t-shirt. The future is Slappydavis. Goes in next to his seduction target, red dress, not standing right next to her, and that's going to hurt because that's going to be 48% on the first flirt. I think you have to call that an unforced error. The green test will alleviate it a little bit, but the 2 flirt is already ruled out. That's going to hurt. Let's just hope the next one isn't 51%, because even though Tobo isn't here, he can still feel that pain on our behalf.
Yeah. I mean, it's not as bad as on other maps, because 3 flirts here is still going to be fine. It's just that it lessens the options that you get afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. And Slappy's been hitting a lot of green tests. He's been 2 flirting quite a bit, so it's a big deal. Slappy, like I mentioned, a little bit of trouble finishing, but it doesn't hurt you as much on Courtyard as Modern because wherever you go, you're not too far from a mission site. We're going to stand across from our seduction target. We're going to embrace the 3 flirt this time. We're going to avoid the 99%, and we're going to wait a little while before flirting too. 2 minutes left on the clock. Here comes the second flirt. It is a green, 79%, spares us the indignity of a 99. And we are in an easy 3 flirt range now, as long as we're even moderately close, even for a white test.
Ooh, fingerprint. Fingerprint on that drink.
Fingerprint on a drink. Some people watch it closer than others, but as a general rule, sniper agnostic, those are the ones you tend to get away with the most, and there's a pretty decent chance Slappy has gotten away with this one. Slappy, as I mentioned, completes fingerprint at one of the lowest rates of anyone in SCL, but he's aware of that, and we see some early efforts here to change it too. Means it could get in under the radar if he does finish it this time. You were thinking, I assume that inhale, Wodar, was for the Amba's proximity at Windows, yes?
Yes, I was so ready for a bug to happen, but he had the drink in hand, unfortunately.
My normal co-caster waits for the bug to actually happen to get really, really, really excited. Wodar gets preemptively excited for any possible bug. Does not take, though, in this case. Slappy does finish up the flirt with the timer flirt there, and we're going to get a real banana bread right now. It's a pretty decent one. I see 2 people out of conversation, but 4 people who would have faked. Let's see how many of them YerAnd wants to lowlight. None yet.
None, yeah.
Change later. A lot of highlights in that conversation with them, so the party is not very winnowed down. We only have 45 seconds left, though. He really needs an ambassador to pick up a statue. Otherwise, you got to go to Inspects next. And Slappy, again, even with that fingerprint, he's just taking too long between actions.
Yeah, this is going to be unfortunate. Yeah, we're going to have to inspect swap. Finally, my dreams come true. We're going to get shot for it.
I mean, if we swap, we probably will. It happened last time. It's more powerful, I mentioned, as a last mission than as a second or third. We're not going to swap. 18 seconds left. What are we going to do? I don't think you can force the Amba out in time. I think it's going to have to be a bug or a purloin. He's waiting right by the Amba. We're going to have overtime. YerAnd looks like he's baiting it almost. I think he's all over this. Slappy's in such a weird position. It's going to be a time ad instead. It's going to be a white time ad. Only 2 people are at Windows. Here come the lowlights, and I don't think Twin even checked their watch.
We bought ourselves some time, though.
We did, and we're not going to get the beeps when we complete either, necessarily, because it was a white time ad. But look at this. There are 2 left, but only Slappy has the highlight. He's just playing it safe here, just in case. I just don't see how Slappy does another action without getting shot, though.
Mm-hmm. We're in a terrible situation, but we're not dead.
Well, we're about
technically dead.
Well, I think we're a dead man walking. We're next to the Amba, and it's pretty clear what's going to happen. It's going to be a bug, and it's going to be a bullet. Zooming in on Twin taking the list, though. That was a chance for a bug, but he didn't take it.
No!
Oh, goodness. No! It's just timing. If he does that 3 seconds earlier, he pulls a spy win out, but he hesitates just a little bit, tries to do the Twitch bug. YerAnd is all over it. YerAnd gave him a tiny little opening with a double zoom on the guest list, but Slappy does not take advantage. Wow.
How sick would that have been?
It would have been ridiculous, and it would have been, frankly, a major unforced error, I think, potentially from YerAnd. He would have been kicking himself if the bug took place there, but it didn't. He zooms out just in time to confirm who the spy is. 3-2 YerAnd. Let's get into the next game. It's going to be YerAnd as green dress.
Important to note the last game, there was another drink print that he could have had, and if he had requested before Twin, he would have had it. He would have had a drink print. He could have. I don't think YerAnd saw it either, since he was getting lowlights. So That would have been
Wow.
the craziest win. If he got 2 drink prints and the second one was invis after that.
Slappy had 2 crazy opportunities to pull out what looked like a lost game, but can't quite capitalize on either. And Slappy has now died twice with 1 fingerprint. And YerAnd has a chance to pull ahead now as the spy.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I mentioned that Slappy does not complete prints very often. It doesn't mean he doesn't get prints very often. It literally just means he doesn't complete them, and we're seeing that tonight, half done twice with his body on the floor.
I do have to point out, though, for that last game, where we should give YerAnd some credit, because even though it was a double zoom in, he made sure to zoom out in time for if a bug did happen, he would probably see it.
Oh, no, absolutely. Slappy would have had to time it absolutely perfectly. I think if he did, he might have gotten away with it, but it's hard to say, and we're never going to know now.
Yeah, you can't. I think you can't time it, right? Like, you won't know when a sniper.
Not exactly, but you know the tray is down, so you could come a little bit closer. Unfortunately, Slappy didn't time it with the tray at all, so there was no hope of it, and the entire bug was on screen, as opposed to just some of it. We have a 34% on the flirt. YerAnd looks like they're going to hang out a little bit, maybe here in timer flirt. We have a fingerprint as well, so YerAnd starting off the game very similarly to the one Slappy just did, but I think they're probably going to have a little better luck pacing it out after.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of mission progress out of YerAnd. Yeah.
Is that fingerprint from a drink?
I think so, yeah. And I'm not saying that just because of YerAnd's progress so far. YerAnd has shown good progress, steady progress, even when they have cause to think they're a suspect. YerAnd has been getting things done, and you got to imagine the same is going to be true here, which means that they can pick up another flirt and find a relatively unsuspicious fingerprint. They'll be in a dominating position. Seduction target leaves during the flirt. We waste all that time on the timer flirt for nothing. That's how games like this can start to get away from you. But let's see how YerAnd reacts. They're going to have to make the action happen now. Ambassador walks away from briefcase. I think that's going to be pretty tempting. There are a lot of highlights from Slappy, too. If YerAnd has noticed them, they know they might not have to finish this game. Is it going to be briefcase? No, it's going to be statues. Very interesting. YerAnd determined to get some kind of progress in one way or another, though. I think that's the right instinct, especially with this many statue visitors already. There are more highlights, I think, than not now at this point, if you count Toby, at least.
Yeah. If you wanted to go briefcase, though, you had to go fast, because
yes,
AIs love to go get briefcase from that point.
AIs are annoyingly conscientious about the briefcase. I hate them for it. YerAnd's going to be next to the ambassador here. They're going to reposition rather than bug. I'm not sure what that was. Very interesting. I don't even know if it was deliberate. Maybe they're trying to get in position for a purloin because they know they can't finish at this point. That's what it's starting to look like. It's going to be a fake into a purloin, I think. White test fake means we can't bail. It's just a drink take.
A normal drink take. What? Wait, and a shot?
It's going to
for the fingerprint.
Second fingerprint. Slappy was actually all over it. And I think that redirect and conversation got them staring is what happened, probably.
Yeah.
2 soft tails, partial progress on the flirt. Slappy's sniper, as Spy has had issues, but the sniper has been on point, and he holds serve here.
Yeah, the issue there was that YerAnd, when he got into that position, he was trying to line up for a drink print, and then he realized that Toby did not have enough space to offer him a drink. So that's why he tried to do a repositioning there so that Toby could offer to him soon. But I think Slappy was all over it.
In that case, you have to have the foresight, because when you entered that conversation, time was already low enough that I think you could have reasonably already decided with the information you have that you were going to want to do something like that. It's entirely possible they were trying to make it so the drink was just barely offerable and it was a little off and then they had to reposition. But in this case, I think it might have been what brought them to the sniper's attention and lost them the game. Slappy now is going to play as Pearls on courtyard with the match tied.
Yep.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And let's see if Slappy gets another green flirt.
Oh, only white?
Only
Slappy's
white.
lost his touch.
Yeah, only white, only 30%. But given how all the green flirt games ended, maybe this is better. Who knows? Maybe it'll force the action a little bit. And hey, what do you know? Slappy does not stick around this time. He's going to keep moving. He is going to go to an empty conversation, though, so maybe I spoke too soon. But Slappy has to be aware at this point that he's had a lot of trouble with mission progress. He's going to bounce right back to that conversation.
Love this.
Yeah, he is, but he's going to go to a different spot. He's going to flirt across from them. He's going to embrace the 3 flirt, but he's going to require a green test on the last one because this one is white. It's only 56%, and given how aggressively we've flirted, 56% doesn't seem like a great trade, but the seduction target does leave, which might make it a little easier. Does he want to chase? How brazen does he want to be? Very brazen, it looks like. Got to go next to them. Need the green. He gets it. It's a 3 flirt, and there's 2 minutes left. He doesn't have any other mission progress. That is a very aggressive flirt. I don't know if YerAnd is apt to flirt pair, but you don't have to be much of a flirt pairer to maybe notice this potentially, even though it doesn't necessarily pay to watch it that much on Courtyard. Slappy's going to get the heck out of there. Seems really, really determined not to time out in this one.
Banana bread.
In the conversation with the double agent, here comes the banana bread. It's a green. 2 missions are done. 2 minutes left.
2 missions for a inspect swap.
You're just not giving up on that, are you? It's your dream.
It don't happen.
You know what? They're pretty cool, but geez, I gotta say, get better dreams, my friend. Slappydavis has 1:40 left, and I'm already worried that this game's gonna be like the other ones. I have no reason to worry anymore. Green Purloin, we're gonna bail.
No,
and
don't do it, Ambassador.
Is he gonna go to the opposing statues?
No.
He is. He's right into it. He's gonna pick up a highlight. The Ambassador Purloin's the guest list. But was YerAnd watching? If the shot doesn't come off right away, it means he got away with it. He's still got a few more seconds to puzzle this out.
Oh.
Is he going to 3-cycle at statues? Nope, we're good. There it goes. YerAnd's got a few more seconds to make this choice, but I think Slappy might have gotten away with this. Goes to Windows 3, 2, 1. Meaningless briefcase taunt. The briefcase BM. Bad briefcase manners, BBM, if you will. Slappydavis, great timing on the Purloin. With a full minute left, how could you possibly expect him to finish that quick when he's had trouble finishing at all? Slappy comes through when it counts and takes the lead on Courtyard on his venue pick.
Awesome. Like that shows actually the power of a green Purloin. Well, even if the next person that picks it up is the Ambassador, with no one else rejecting, like that still gets you away. Gets away. Yeah. You get away with it.
That's a very scary moment. You think you haven't seen a reject maybe, and then a cast member takes it and you think, oh boy, this was free. At that point, you do have one more chance to take the shot, which is what do spies like to do when they green Purloin? They love to go to statues. That's a spy move. It's a Hail Mary shot, and YerAnd is too disciplined a sniper, I think, sometimes to want to take that shot. But that's the moment of truth, isn't it? When you realize I've completely missed this Purloin, do I take the risky, low percentage shot when the low percentage shot could still be your highest percentage shot, even though it's usually not right? That's the question. They don't take the shot. Slappy gets the win, and YerAnd now is spying for a tie as Alice on Courtyard.
I'm going just one more thing. Slappy put himself in that position because he got his floods finished so quickly.
Absolutely right. He was very aggressive about it, didn't get burned for it, got the banana bread shortly after, and then he picked the perfect moment to Purloin.
Yeah. All right. On to the next game. We have YerAnd on Alice.
Yep.
All right. Starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And if Slappy wins this, it puts him in a very strong position in the end game. YerAnd with a hard redirect early. Looked like he did not like where he was going, but he's not going to get caught for it, it looks like, in the time of chaos.
Finish the drink.
Yep, free those hands up. Maybe to bug? Nope, not this time. We're still at Windows. And we are going to... Oh, boy.
Oh.
We're going to stand back-to-back with the Ambassador. This conversation. Cap's going to join us, and we're going to waste a little time here now, it looks like.
Mm-hmm. So, if finishing a drink gets rid of the drink, does that mean that all these characters just throw the glasses on the ground when they're done
I would kind of like it if there were just a chucking the drink animation. Just hurl it into the garden. Toby, you can clean it up later.
Yeah.
The thankless job, waiter in this party. That's going to be a red test banana bread. There's the cough. This time, Slappy does catch it, and he sees the bug while he shoots, just in case there was any doubt. Slappy all over it. A lot easier to see here than on some other venues. And Slappy does indeed cash in on his spy win with a corresponding sniper win in the next game. And he is up 5-3. He manages to split his opponent's venue choice, and he gets what he needs out of his venue choice. Goes 3-1. But now we're on to High Rise, which YerAnd shows, and which can be very swing.
Mm-hmm. Right. Ready-ish?
One moment. Just got to load the game in.
That's fine. Slappydavis, Duke. I feel like we've seen an awful lot of Duke tonight, and we're about to see a little bit more. We're about to see more of that pointing, talking animation.
After the first cough, Slappy was ready for the second one.
That's right. Cough once, shame on me. Cough twice, shame on you. That kind of thing. Yeah, he catches it this time. It's a lot easier in Courtyard when the spy does it right in front of your camera too. But the spy's back was to the camera, which is very interesting. So he really just caught the side of the animation. But again, YerAnd bugged just to make him feel a little better about the shot as it went down.
All right, I'm ready now.
All right, go ahead.
3, 2, 1, playing it.
Slappy's going to start with a drink, and he's going to get dumped right into statues, and he's not going to fight it. We're going to go right into an inspect. Doesn't make him a huge suspect, potentially, because you need 3 inspects here, and you can only get 2 here, so if he doesn't go back, he won't be credited with possibly finishing. So he's got a lot of options. 2 other people are at statues as well, but neither of them are going to finish either. But it's high rise, it's 3-5. You want to note who could be done with inspects, because those are the people you need to keep in the suspect pool.
Talking about 3-5, we have transfer microfilm, swap, and purloin off.
This is close to the standard. Yeah, this is far and away the standard. You don't get as much variation on high-rise mission setups as you do on Terrace because the lower viewing angle means bug is a lot easier to get away with. Slappy, by the way, didn't mind going to statues in part, I think, because he was dumped next to a seduction target and got 34% on that flirt. And then the seduction target, the self-same seduction target, follows him into conversation. Boy, you weren't kidding about those recommendations. 68% on the flirt already for very little effort, and he's got 1 inspect done.
What do you think his last mission is going to be? Like, do you think he dies if he goes through another set of statues?
That's hard to say yet. I don't think he should do it yet, though. I think he should keep his options open. It's going to depend on what everyone else does. Smallman, by the way, is the real double agent and is whiling away the hours at Green Bookshelf. And Slappy is just going to timer flirt to finish. And with 2.5 minutes left on high rise, the flirt is already done and inspects are partially done. Now, if he were to banana bread right into statues, that would be a very early shot to be taking on a Softail variant. Is he going to force his hand? Or is he going to wait it out? So far, no signs of finishing, especially with that drink.
Very particularly with Slappy's camera right there, it looks like he was making sure he was getting the correct animation for drinking, so he wasn't breaking any animations.
Yeah, even though you can get away with a lot of little etiquette breaks, it's a lot harder on high rise, where there's just not always that much to look at, and that's what the game can turn on. If multiple people could be done with inspects or fingerprints, and all of them are in for a real banana bread potentially, you have to decide who to shoot out of multiple people who could be done, and sometimes how well they executed things like etiquette or pathing will help determine that. Slappy is indeed going to finish inspects. He's going to finish that drink first. He's going to go to a side statue as well. And the moment of truth will be the banana bread. As far as I can tell, no AI could have completed inspects or fingerprint yet. So if he banana breads, he will literally be the only person who could have finished. Doesn't mean he'll get shot, though. That is usually the moment of truth. If only one person could be done, do you shoot them or not? Slappy does not want to do this yet, though, and I think that's probably wise.
How do you feel about going for the bug instead? There might be enough cover.
I think given where the ambassador is, it's a better choice than it would normally be. Slappy's going to take more time. You can tell he doesn't want to rush into finishing. He wants to give the party more time to provide other suspects, I think is what it is. And it's not happening.
One of the problems with giving time on this map is that the DA could be irresponsible and not be in a CC when you want them to be.
That is the downside of waiting till late to do the banana bread, but the upside is you know who you need to keep in and out of the suspect pool.
All right. Here's the moment of truth.
Let's hope Kane comes into this conversation. He does. This is going to look very spy-like if he can banana bread, but he's the only one who could be done unless we're worried we missed a bug. YerAnd's got the choice right here, right now. There it is. He's going to take it. He's going to shoot the only person who could be in the countdown, and he is correct. That was a very, very promising start on multiple levels with early statue visitors and this ST following us twice. Slappy does not try to go for the quick finish, and nobody else finishes at all. YerAnd takes the shot, and now Slappy needs to try to hold serve on a Softail variant. It's going to be the same mission setup, and it's going to be YerAnd as Pearls whenever you're ready.
Yep. Yeah, important to note that last game that I think it's possible. I don't know if YerAnd saw it, but Slappy did do a slow sip at statues, so that might have outed him as the spy right there, and just waited for the BB. But anyways,
just enough. Yeah, the difference between was that a low sip, and it definitely was, can be very minor. Yeah, very often I will think that looked a little slow, but it has to be really slow to be sure. But in this case, he was the only one done too. But very well spotted, Yeesh.
All right,
ready?
Starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
we're getting from your end that Kane could have also finished because they had inspects done.
Well,
So
we must have missed them then.
to-
Yeah, I certainly didn't see a second visit, but I might have missed it in all my enthusiasm
Yeah,
for flirt pairings and whatnot.
At the same time, like maybe YerAnd also missed it, so it could have been like a half-finished inspect. So that was still a high suspect for him, right?
Yep. Well, whatever happened, YerAnd waits in a conversation, and the ST joins them, getting the same kind of luck Slappy did, and we're gonna get 34%. And are we gonna bounce back into this conversation?
Maybe?
We are, but across from the ST this time. We walked by the Amba quite a bit there without bugging, and now we're gonna have to take a weak second flirt with the cooldown timer.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a white test, 59%, and we're in a similar position. I think that's the same percentage that Slappy had on Courtyard. He hit a green to 3 flirt, but YerAnd's going to have to do the same. However, it is high rise, and we're going to have plenty of opportunities. That is going to be a fingerprintable drink. It's a difficult, and he hits it, and that is going to open up a lot of options for him. That could be very dangerous for Slappy now. That can be a very difficult shot to take on high rise.
I've definitely been thinking about, for my own spy play, that I want to be trying to get more of these hard fingerprints.
If you hit a decent number of action tests, it can really put the sniper in a bind too, and it can make them paranoid so that they have to look for difficult fingerprints and sometimes credit them when the AIs do them, so it's a double whammy. It's by no means a free mission, but if you can hit those ATs, you make the sniper's job that much harder, especially on these Softail variants. On the Softail variants, though, you can actually count the difficults too, where it's not as viable in some of the larger ones.
Definitely.
YerAnd?
Taking our time?
Yeah, taking our time. We're not in the conversation with the double agent. The real one is Duke, not Irish, by the way. Oof. Kane is just staying there. YerAnd's going to get rid of this drink, and I got to imagine they're going to go try to flirt here with a spot next to their ST open. That is an awkward leave, bumping up against Sorry, and it's just awkward enough. It's America's favorite game, top suspect or low light or highlight again? Okay. I don't know. The thing was, normally I don't try to react to lights that quickly. Oh, boy. Wow. Okay, that changed in a hurry. Normally, I don't like reacting to low lights too quickly because there's so many misclicks, but in that case, it came right after something that people might conceivably low light for, or highlight for, or shoot for. I think what happened was, maybe crediting a bug from earlier in the game, I mentioned a couple of possible bug paths. It's entirely possible Slappy is just taking really aggressive shots and it happens to be the spy, but he's 2 for 2 on those really aggressive shots. In this case, YerAnd did redirect around the Ambassador a couple times earlier in the game, so he might have been crediting it. I'm not sure, but YerAnd now has gotten shot twice in games where he probably didn't feel he was about to be shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that is a big salvage from Slappy after that difficult fingerprint.
At the same time, Slappy definitely picked all choices in the low light, highlight, or shoot.
Low light, highlight, shoot. Slappy says all of the above. And now we're on to library, and Slappy has held the lead.
Ooh, what's the score right now?
I believe it should be
6-4. Slappy's ahead.
Yeah, that's huge for Slappy. He is going to guarantee himself at least a point. As we mentioned earlier, YerAnd's chances of making the finals over Falcon Hit depend a lot on whether or not they can manage a point here. They have to spy and snipe for the win on library to do it.
All right.
We're ready?
Yep. Starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And it's going to be wheels for Slappy. And again, he's had some pacing issues. The only game where he really didn't, the only games where he really didn't, rather, are the smaller venues, Courtyard and High Rise. Nope. Oh, there it was. You were so excited for that potential bug.
I was so... It would have been such a good bug.
It would have been an interesting choice. Slappy does not take it. We've actually seen that Slappy has not really done any of those sort of impulsive actions early in the beginning of games. He's really liked the idle early on. Even when he did mission progress later, the beginnings of those games were relatively benign. No rush swaps, no rush bugs.
He definitely likes to be more methodical than I am with my bugs.
Methodical is absolutely the way Slappy would like for you to describe his spy game, I have no doubt. And it's a fair description. Methodical, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Even his aggression is calculated. Where he decides, hey, I want to be aggressive this game, so let's be aggressive.
Yes.
He's not opportunistic.
And now, in 2 different spy games, Slappy has specifically reached the mission win countdown, and one of them is he's shown a mission win. So if that's the case, isn't this a very tempting opportunity, on library in particular, to slow play the way you normally do and hope you get a civ shot? I think that might be the goal, given that we've already lost over a minute and we only have 25% in the flirt. But he is bouncing around. After he got away with that aggressive flirt bouncing, on Courtyard, maybe trying to do the same thing on Library where it's even more viable.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You get look at these high-level players. You're just completely ignoring people trying to pair them to flirt.
Yeah.
Like going back to our original games this past set.
A lot of snipers capable of doing it, but it's just not the most efficient use of your attention on a venue like Library for the most part. Slappy, yep, he's doing the same thing. He's in and out.
Bobbing and weaving.
Yeah, bobbing and weaving and flirting. That's not a boxing term. That's a little different. It's not like any boxing match I've ever seen.
Float like an ST, sting like a DA? What?
Wow, I think what he was trying to do was make room on the pad so the seduction target would follow?
Oh, no. He is messing with Toby.
Trying to make sure Toby does not come to him. Maybe trying to keep him on the other side. I'm not sure there.
No, he was intentionally requesting Toby, then moving, then requesting Toby, then moving.
Wow.
So he was making Toby like dance.
That's very interesting. So what you see here is, it seems like it's just sort of chaos, right? He's trying to get a lot of weird behavior going, make YerAnd take a shot on somebody else, but here's the problem. Look at YerAnd's lowlights. He's taken a lot of soft or behavioral lowlights, and so far, none of them have been wrong. There's the bug attempt you were looking for. It does not take, but he's going to get a highlight for it, and now he's got a highlight for basically no mission progress. This is looking pretty bad for Slappy now.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting maneuver from Slappy with the Toby manipulation. Might be a little too clever by half in this case, I don't know. But just because it didn't work doesn't mean it wasn't a good idea, as anyone who saw the Season 3 finals will tell you.
Definitely. But we're in an awkward situation here. Unless Slappy knows who he wants to frame, I don't know where he goes from here.
I mean, that's clear. I think he decided pretty early on in this one that was the goal, yeah. And knowing Slappy, therefore, it's probably going to be a pretty well-timed banana bread. That is a really quick conversation leave, I think. And it's got to be a purloin. And purloin BB, hope someone gets shot, is just a very common Slappy maneuver, historically. He's not really hiding behind the pillar. He's going to trigger the purloin right here. It's going to be a green. Is he going to get out of there? No, he's going to wait. And now you need to hope that one of these many lowlights is not the one who takes it. That's the problem. The odds of a lowlight taking it are very high right now, and that will not fit your plan. Doesn't even matter.
I think he might have been caught for that animation break after the green purloin.
Yeah, might have been. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think he was way too on to him after that bug. Yeah,
the bug definitely made him very suspicious. Or at least the bug path.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was the turning point. I understand he didn't want to finish that game. It's a perfectly viable decision, and it might have worked with the green purloin and a good banana bread, but A, YerAnd was already onto him for the bug. I don't think the bug makes sense as a decision because you probably weren't going to finish there, so I don't even like the attempt. And B, YerAnd got way too many lowlights too. It meant a purloin was less likely to induce a shot. Either way, YerAnd now can salvage a tie with a spy game, and that's not going to be easy because, as we've observed, Snappy Sniper has either been comically aggressive or on point, or maybe a little bit of both tonight. And now YerAnd needs a spy win to tie whenever you're ready.
All right. Starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I'm just going to point this out right now because I never see this. All the statues on the left side are all the same, so that's going to be really hard to swap.
So what you're saying is that in the very last game of the night, no matter what, we still don't have an inspect swap, and there's an entire set of statues where you probably don't want to do it?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Wodar. You'll have to find something else. You'll have to find new dreams.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Could you dream of watching Game of Thrones after this? That's a pretty good dream, right?
I don't actually watch Game of Thrones. I'm sorry. Ooh.
I don't believe it. White test microphone.
That is sick!
It's happening off screen in the corner on a jammed pad with a very corpulent fellow covering for us. Thanks a lot, Taft. Normally when you say Taft body block, that's not what you mean. For one, you mean Taft is the spy, and for another, he's usually blocking a swap. In this case, he's not the spy. He's not blocking a swap. He's blocking a white microfilm, and half a microfilm is going to be done now, and I think it's pretty much for free. Got half on the flirt as well, 51% on that green test. YerAnd showing the same sort of steady progress we've been seeing from them all night. Very good start.
YerAnd steady but it will be your steady progress and?
That's right. YerAnd one letter away from yes and. It's microfilm, yes, and a flirt, and another flirt, 85%. This one's just a white test, so they're not going to finish it quickly. Probably rules out a big-time rush here on Library, but with the microfilm half done, you're still in pretty good position. to finish this with plenty of time left. Still 3 minutes on the clock. Question is YerAnd going to wait around to finish this flirt, or are they just going to keep this train moving?
Looks like they were eyeing the ambassador, looking at the yellow bookcase to try to get a fingerprint from there.
Well, taking this drink is going to slow us down a little bit, so I think now the decision is going to be, I'm going to sip this drink quietly, hope the seduction target doesn't leave, finish that up, and then plan the rest of my game around when I finish microfilm and what other mission I get done. But yeah, yellow bookshelves would be pretty good. Leopard/Rocker is there now, though, but we've seen difficults already. They've played a big role in the games tonight, even though the spies have often gotten them without actually going on to win.
Yeah.
YerAnd's going to go to the bookshelves. We're going to gulp. Probably not going to get caught. That is a fingerprint attempt. Oof. It's not going to hit, and that, at least you know now. You know you didn't hit the difficult. You've got 2 minutes left. You can adjust accordingly. I think they're going to want to microfilm maybe behind a pillar here. Yep, that's what we're going to do. It's going to be some cheesy pillar microfilming. It's a green. It's off camera.
It's kind of on camera.
Sort of. The problem is Slappy is whipping that camera around a lot, and when you're whipping around like that, it's hard to catch any microfilm, let alone a green. And YerAnd, I'm pretty sure, has microfilm done with little to no suspicion.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's great finishing, and a hardtail that importantly doesn't leave a trace.
Yes, yeah.
So there's no way that Slappy will know that microfilm happened this game.
Yeah, whipping your camera back and forth is good for guarding certain mission sites, but if you don't ever stop whipping it back and forth, things can be on screen and not really visible at all. In this case, I think it was visible on the edge of the screen very briefly. Yeah. We're going to get the inspects here, all 3 in one go. I think, is that 2 white tests?
Yeah, it's going to
be is this going to be, did I miscount, or is that 3 cycles? Breaks in the middle, hopes the sniper isn't looking. Slappy is hanging on that character for a few precious seconds. Looks very suspicious. YerAnd's going to bounce back and forth. It looks like he was guarding that bug. I don't think he's confident about the 3 cycle, but I think in the back of the mind he's thinking, boy, it feels like that character was there a little long, but I don't think he actually caught it.
Yeah.
Woo. And he gets him at the end. Wow. That's the difference. The 3 cycle at statues, the animation break. YerAnd had such good progress, and Slappy, his sniper, on point, all set, scores a very, very tight 7-5 win. And that win does not necessarily mean a lot to Slappy, who probably can't make the finals and probably isn't in big danger of getting demoted, but it hurts YerAnd very, very badly on their quest for the finals.
Yeah, it's a point of pride. You know, like Slappy is probably one of the best players of this game. I would put him in top 10.
I would say in terms of theory crafting, he's top 2.
Yes.
Maybe top 1. Doesn't play it as often as he used to. As he said, he's happy, content to just guard Platinum, and guard it he did tonight. He guarded it very, very well. Very strong sniper games from Slappy. A couple shots with almost no mission progress done. Very impressive stuff, and he pulled out that big mission win when he needed it on Courtyard. The one game he played to get steady progress other than High Rise, of course, and that was the difference in the set. Tough, close loss for YerAnd, who had a lot of good plays of their own. But Slappy just had to play against Type that one time. Huge, huge ramifications for Platinum, and a great match to end the night.
Yeah. Man, how hard is it now for YerAnd to make the finals?
Well, it's not quite over yet, but as I mentioned before, the upper divisions play fewer matches, so that's a lot worse. This drops YerAnd to 3-3-1. Falcon Hit is 3-3-0, so they have a game in hand, so that's very significant. Also significant is the fact that YerAnd beat Falcon Hit earlier, 7-4. They meet again in week 9. So if YerAnd can get a draw or a win there, he's in very good shape still, potentially. But if he gets a loss, then he loses the head-to-head tiebreaker, which is very brutal. That game Falcon Hit has in hand, by the way, is against Scallions, but he also hasn't played Slappy, and he plays Banana Conda late. So this is still very much in the air. The main thing is YerAnd had a chance to surge ahead into the lead there and did not take it. So now that week 9 matchup between the two of them could be absolutely pivotal. And we can't say yet, but there's a really good chance you're going to see that one cast too.